Hello, my name's Angel. Welcome if you've never been here before. If you have been here before, welcome back. It's lovely to see you again. Today we're doing a continuation of the little mini series that I do every single month, which is May's Decks and Intentions. This is a video to kind of, I suppose, keep me accountable a little bit. It's almost like a video grimoire, perhaps, a bit of a look into my practice at this moment in time to see where I am, what I'm doing, what I'm working with, and what's resonating for me. And I like to take you along on that journey. Have I babbled enough? I think so. Are you ready to get going? Let's do this. Oh my holy moly, I've got so many decks around me. Okay, so I had the silly thought in May to pare back on my decks. How do you think that's going for me? Yeah, not so great, I've got to say, but it's all good. I do enjoy using a lot of decks. I like to get my decks out on my desk for some playtime. Then I also had this idea of maybe using the same amount of decks that corresponds to the month of the year. So for instance, May is the 5th month, so I would use 5 decks. Yeah, right. And then June, when June comes along, I'll use 6 decks. Yeah, right. And then that idea went quickly out the window, and you'll see why in just a wee second. So let's talk about the themes for May. I'm gonna link April's favourites in the description box, even April's favourites. I'm going to be doing a lot of work still with the facets of self and with my inner wolf and my inner, I'm going to say red bonnet character. Can I say that? Yeah. I'm also going to link April's favourites. Did I say that? That will make more sense if you watch those videos. So the fairy tale theme and the folklore theme is continuing in the month of May. However, we're adding to that the theme of my inner garden, which popped up twice last month. So last month I worked with quite a lot of decks as well. This deck was a Stalker card last month. Now the synchronicities with the inner garden had already appeared within a couple of other readings. And then when this card started appearing and stalking me, drink from your own well, water your own garden, I was thinking, there's got to be something to this. So I journaled on this a lot and I meditated on it and I really thought about the message. And it suddenly occurred to me that I have been oblivious to my inner garden. And I haven't been nourishing it or watering it or taking care of it in any way, shape or form, I don't think, really. So I felt, spring is the perfect time to clear away the old, the tangled, dead shrubbery, and to nourish the ground and in preparation for planting some new seeds. I also pulled this card. This is from the Wisdom de Alma, what's it called? Oracle deck. And then even last month, this card came about in conjunction with this one. This is the full card from the Tarot of Strange Branches, and this is the full card, obviously. But I had this before this card appeared to me. I'd already journaled about like being in this dark wood and coming upon this clearing. And when I see this clearing, I'll know that it's time for the new start or the next step. And when I pulled this card, this felt like the Fool is coming out of this dark wood almost into this clearing and into this greenery. And it kind of felt like a sign. It did. It felt like a sign. So I'm taking that as a sign that I'm going to be alongside my fairy tale theme. I'm going to be then looking into my inner garden. So with that in mind being the theme, let's get into the decks. So let's start with the decks I'm going to be using for I'm going to say dark fairy tale theme, fairy tale theme, that's fine. I'm going to start with the books actually. The Heroine's Journey, this is a book that came in the last month, so I didn't get to read it. Women's Quest for Wholeness, and even Fairy Tales Can Change Your Life. Unlock your future with creative exercises inspired by storytelling. So the decks I'm going to be using in conjunction with these books and with the dark fairy tale theme will come as no surprise. Darkwood Tarot, Ride or Die. The Horror Tarot, I know, it's a bit bizarre, but it really makes sense in my brain. And these two I use together very often. This kind of reads more to me as an oracle. Sounds bizarre, but it's true. And then I also, let's grab this so I can show you the box. I also purchased a new deck, Naughty Naughty, at the end of last month. Beginning, yeah, the end of last month, beginning of this month of May. This one, Oracle of Pluto, 55 card exploration of the undiscovered self. Let's just show you the box at the back so you can read it. Pause to read. And this is all about. All these images are all shadow puppets. These are the backs. I'm going to be edging mine this month, which I just thought was a really interesting concept, actually, to be honest. Love the colour combination. I'm not saying it's going to go with these decks, but I don't mind. I want to see how they read together. So this is like based around Pluto, the Lord of the Underworld. And I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook here. And it reads, we cannot become whole versions of ourselves without stepping into our own underworlds. We must greet whoever lives there. Pluto represents the ideas of power, control, destruction, creation, cycles of death and rebirth, and deep healing. I just found this really interesting. And it was quite, quite a clever concept with the shadow puppets for the shadow work. Love this, love some wolf energy. I'm going to take a couple more because we're not going to stay too long on these because we've seen both of these very recently. I think we're going to stop there. I love this card. I'm just going to say about this deck. I had a couple of people. I showed this in my April favourites, and I'm just going to say, just FYI, the text is quite hard to read. It's like in red, not red, just red font. It's what's it called? Like, is it called foiling? I'm going to put it on the screen. I can't remember what it's called, but it's, if you don't get it in the right light, it's difficult to read, which I don't mind because I tend to look at the, excuse me, the images, and I don't really tend to think about what's going on in the actual title of the card. So it suits me perfectly because I use this more as an oracle deck, but just FYI. One more deck that I'm going to be using for this work, and especially with the Heroine's Journey book, let's just pop these out the way, was my wildcard deck last month, which was the Hero's Journey Oracle. And I never got to it. I never got to working with it because if you've seen my favourite, February, no, it's not February, it's April favourites, you'll know I use so many decks, I just didn't get around to it, to be honest. So I feel this one's going to come out again this month, working with the Heroine's Journey book and this whole fairy tale shadow work theme. So yeah, that's those. So those were the first batch. Let's look at Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weavers practice. Let's take a look. So it goes without saying, the Gospel of Aradia is coming forward, and the Green Witch Oracle. These two sit always in my tarot card, and I always use them for Dawn Michelle's Fellowship of the Weavers practice. But as well as those two, I'm also going to be using Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle, and even Shadowscapes Oracle, Tarot, which I purchased secondhand last month. So let's take a look at these two together. Let's pair them. Let's play with some pairs. Okay, so starting with the Shadowscapes. These are the backs. I've edged mine. I edged mine when they first came in this beautiful lilac colour, like a metallic lilac. This is a German deck. Excuse me. I've got like a flog. I've got a frog in my throat. I've got a frog in my throat. This is the Season of the Witch Beltane Oracle. These are edged in gold out of the box. Now, I haven't used this one particularly very much, and I believe it's because when I got this one in last year, it was around, or maybe just after Beltane, I feel. So I didn't use it. So I don't have any kind of opinion on this deck, unfortunately, and not on this one either, because it's a new second-hand find into my collection. Excuse me. Sorry, let me just have a sip of coffee. Let's just get this flog out of my throat. Ribbit, right, it's gone. Okay, let's do this. So yeah, I just kind of get the idea that these two might work really nicely together. And obviously this one, the Beltane Oracle, feels like a must at this time of year. Does it not? Does it not? Of course it does. Now I was kind of got this one out, And I wonder, which I don't know, I'm gonna confirm this on the screen, if the author of the guidebook changed after this this oracle, because excuse me, the flog's back. I used the what was the other deck that came after this one that came out in bulk, possibly, and I feel the writing is different. I feel it's the less flowery, but I could be wrong. I'm going to try and confirm that on the screen. So yeah, I'm thinking these two are going to work together, but I could be totally wrong. They could bomb, but only time will tell. But I think it's looking a bit interesting. What does everybody else think? Let me know in the comment section. Do you have the Beltane Oracle? Are you using it right now, or are you planning to use it in May? Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know, because I'm nosy and I want to know these things. I'm going to take 2 more cards. So I've got a few more decks to show you still. I mean, the colours, I like it. I really like it. And obviously the artwork in the Shadowscapes tarot is very, very intricate. It feels very detailed. And I could almost have done with the cards being slightly larger, almost like this size. Because obviously, yeah, there is so much detail that it's a little bit difficult to see. However, I did get the guidebook with this, obviously. And this is the size of the guidebook. It's a hardback book. See if I can get this actually in camera shot. And what's fantastic about this is that you've got these full-page illustrations. So, you know, I don't need to moan and complain, because I can see the images perfectly well in the book. So, you know, I'm a happy bunny. Let me take one more. And then we're done. That was a great card to finish on. Okay, so those are the decks I'm using for Dawn Michelle's practice. Should we move on to the garden, my inner garden practice? What am I going to be using? Which decks am I going to be using for that practice? Let's take a look. So these 3 felt like a total no-brainer. We've got the Outgrow Yourself Oracle. I've edged mine in black. Then we have the Mother Tarot. I haven't edged mine. This is an indie deck. This is indie, this is indie, this is mass market. This is the Dirt Gems Oracle, which I got in on pre-order, which was pre-ordered before the 31st of December 23. Yeah, I got this in last month, and I was biting at the bit to start using it. And I showed this in my April Lolo Buy Year update, I feel, and I paired it, but I didn't pair it with this deck. I paired it with this one and another one, which I can't remember what it was. But the Mother Tarot, I was like, yes, I really want to try it with the Mother Tarot. Now, the Mother Tarot for me sits in a very specific practice. I use this for my Blood Moon Cycle practice, but I just felt really called to it to bring it out to use it for this as well. So I don't know. I'm liking this. I'm liking the colours in this. I like it that this kind of reflects this with the colours. Ooh. Ooh. And as mentioned, you know, these could totally bomb, but I don't think so. I think they're going to work. I think they're going to work. I'm not going to spend too long on these. I've got one more set of decks to show you, and I don't want to keep you too long because, you know, you've got things to do. I know. The Mother Tarot is quite, I wouldn't say it follows the Rider-Waite. I would say, I would say it does go its own way, and for that reason, it's quite intuitive. I mean, look, I just think, I just think it's going to do it. I think it's going to sit in this practice perfectly. We're going to take one more. Ooh! Oh, so excited! So excited. Last one, last one. So there we go. I love this card. I get this quite often. Why do you ask what you already know? It's like, talk about call me out. Okay, so that was the first set. I've got one more set of decks which I'm going to show you. Let's jump into those one as well. Okay, so last selection or last combination of decks. This is the Messages from the Heart of the Divine Oracle, mass market. This is the Inner Light Tarot. This was new. I haven't used it at all. This is the Flower Petals, and this is the Rose Oracle. I've edged mine in powder pink here. This is mass market. Did I say that? I think so. They're all mass market. I edged this last night in bronze, which I've got to say I love. That was done with a Sharpie pen. The flower petals isn't edged, but I was kind of going through my tarot shelf, just, just generally looking about decks to use for May, and I totally forgot I had this. And because of the garden theme, I was supposed to be looking for flowery decks, or decks that remind me of flowers, or have a lot of flower imagery in them. How many times can I say flower? And then I saw these and I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about those. So I thought I'm going to pull them out because I quite like, actually I don't quite, I like them a lot. The questions or the statements on the cards as jumping off points to create tarot spreads around. So with that being said, with that babbly intro to these decks, let's have a look. Now, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to be using this combination, but I wanted to have them in my tarot cards so they're close at hand, and I want to just play with them and see if they work. So we've got Tend to Your Love, the Rose of Venus, and the Magician. The Comfort of Good Company Heals Old Hurts. Now, I'm going to make a bit of a complaint about the Rose Oracle. Is it just me, or is this deck really, really pale image-wise? I mean, it comes out better on camera, but in real life, it's really, really pale, and I find it's so washed out. It's so washed out. I almost need the camera to look at what's going on in the image, to be honest. Anyway, that's just my probably old eyes. Did I flip that card? Don't think I did, because I'm not doing my job properly. Okay, then we've got Reflection of the Wise. Be here always with willing hands and heart. Say yes, expand through the extremes. And the Fool. Now, I've got to say, I really appreciate I suppose simplicity, actually, yeah, of this deck. I love the white space, and I love this watercolour, I'm going to use a technical term, splodge. And it just feels like a palette cleanser for me, which I think is because of the white space around it. And although it's got this, title key phrase or key word, it still feels quite open and quite, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think. Pared back, I'm going to say, actually. I'm going to let you read the title on the cards, and I'm just going to flip them. So I feel that these are going to work well together. I don't know, I can't guarantee that. And what I can say is, last month, if you saw my April favourites, I did, here I go again, I did Jessie Chom's Into the Woods hashtag, but I did it as a tarot spread. And whilst doing that, I sat on the floor with my reading cloth, a large reading cloth in front of me, and I placed all my tarot, 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 oracle. It wasn't planned it was going to be 4 and 4. That's just the way it happened intuitively. And I was doing the prompts, and I was sitting on the floor on my meditation cushion, and just pulling forward the decks that resonated for me in whatever combination that resonated for me as well. And that was a really good practice. So I'm kind of thinking about doing the same thing for this inner garden work, stationing myself on the floor with these decks, like I just mentioned, and going from there. I'm liking it. I feel that they're speaking to each other. I don't know how it's like translating through the camera. Let me know in the comment section. I'd love to know, because I do value everybody's opinion, and I find it interesting how we all see things very differently. I love this. Plant yourself here. Yes, definitely. Sacred wholeness with the Emperor. Set boundaries well to ensure good growth. I mean, yes. That's totally a yes from me. Okay, we'll do one last one, and then I've got a few, can I call them stragglers? I've got a few straggler decks that are calling to me, but I don't know where they're going to fit in. I love this, and I love this. I love the goddesses in this deck. Okay, the power of your voice with the Goddess of Cups, with Sophia, divine plan, wisdom, intelligence within, and destiny. Believe and trust in happiness. Oh! Okay, we're going to move on to the stragglers. Okay, so the first straggler is the Tarot of Landscapes. Or Tarot Landscapes, actually, I think it's called. I edged mine last night, or yesterday afternoon, should I say, in like a metallic blue, which I think is really pretty, kind of in preparation for using it for this month. I don't know where this is going to sit. I don't know where it's going to slot in. But I think I feel drawn to this one because of the inner garden and the landscape of that. And I kind of feel like this might help me with that work, but I'm not sure. I was speaking to a lovely subscriber in the comment section, end of last week, I think. And they were speaking about this deck. They were using this deck for a practice, but they weren't getting along with it very well. But they didn't want to give up on it yet. And I have done a couple of readings with this deck, and I mentioned in a different video when I spoke about this deck that those readings kind of brought up more questions than they answered. However, maybe that's the point of this deck. Maybe the point of this deck is to raise questions within me that need to be answered and reflected over. That's actually very interesting. I like that. I think I've just come up on a really great thought there. But don't quote me on that. Okay, the last straggler. Let's bring that one in as well. The Antique Anatomy, but the mass market version. It's not called that. It's called Tarot for the Modern Reader or something like that. It comes in a box there. Anywho, I brought this forward last month. I spoke at this one in my April favourites, and I brought it actually forward to bring it back into my body. I know that sounds very bizarre, but this deck was calling to me, and previously it hasn't spoken to me. And then when I started using it last month, I was like, oh, hello, you're actually talking to me. You actually want to, give me your messages. So I don't feel like my work is done with this. And then when the garden synchronicity started coming in, and I was like, hold the phone, look at the flowers in this deck. So this feels to me like the work with this deck isn't done yet. So I don't know where it's going to come in, but it's possibly going to be appearing in May. Now, I did actually lie to you. I've got 2 last stragglers. Sorry, do you have the time? What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Yeah, I think you've got a bit of time. Let me show you the last 2 stragglers. Okay, so we've got the Mass Market Magic of You Oracle, and we've got Boda Seers Tarot. I'm going to put the whole name on the screen because I can't remember it. Look at these backs, aren't they freaking gorgeous? Look at the flowers. Please note the flowers. Haven't edged mine. Don't know if I will. I had a whole hoo-ha over the borders. I don't want to speak about it. I don't want to talk about that. I refuse. No comment. No comment about the borders. This deck. Can I just tell you that I pulled this out for, I can't remember what the video was, but I pulled it out for that video, and it was sitting on my desk, and this started to come into my mind because it's got a lot of flowers going on, which I'll show you in a second. And I was like, I wonder if those two would pair nicely together, because they were kind of sitting close by. And I pulled these 2 cards, like, asked the deck if they'd be willing to work together, or how they could help me, if they'd be willing to work with me, or. It doesn't matter. I can't remember what the question was. It was either how do you want to work? Can you be working together, or how can you help me on my journey? I can't remember what the question was. But these were the deck. These were the cards. Sorry, that came up. I mean, look at this synchronicity going on here. How can you feed others when your own table is empty? With the Page of Wands. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. But there is something that's calling to me. And I feel this taps into this, clearing away of, now I'm talking about the inner garden, the old debris in the garden, and making space for, nourishing the soil and the ground to plant new seeds. Is it just me? Is it just me? I don't know. It could just be me. And I can't tell you that these decks are going to totally, be appearing this month because, not just because, but I used this not so long ago. I think I used this like 2 months ago, when I was having my whole humming and ahhing over the borders, and I used it and loved it, and now it's calling to me again. But, maybe within our practice, we should go with obviously what calls us and not what we feel we should be working with. So just because I've worked with this recently does not mean that I shouldn't be working with it now. I'm babbling, totally babbling. I'm going to stop talking. I'm zipping my lips, and I'm going to let you look at the beautiful images. But don't you think they work together? I mean, look at this. If this doesn't speak of that underworld, meeting, going down and meeting, or, going into the underworld, which for me, my underworld is the dark wood or the forest, and, and clearing what is no longer growing, and, nourishing the ground ready for new seeds. I don't know what it does. Or am I just totally, am I totally reaching? this, look at this, look at this, and look at this. I mean, come on. Look at this. The magic you seek is inside of you. Let it flow. And this beautiful Queen of Fungi, which is the Queen of Pentacles, is like totally open, you know, allowing everything to flow in and around. Warning for nudity. Apologies. Honestly, I mean, if these aren't going to... Sorry, I've just messed the ring light. Apologies. If this is not going to rock my world this month, I don't know what will. Watch this space. Okay, let's move along. So let's move on to a couple of books I'm thinking of dipping in and out of this month. We're starting with Tarot Spreads Yearbook. I already started this one yesterday, actually, and I was quite impressed with it. Let me just open the page to where I started. This has got all different spreads in it, and this is... I came upon this season of growth, and I thought, for the inner garden, oh yes, yes please. And so we've got quite a few pages, and sorry, I can't turn the pages, and different spreads. So it's like, it goes like chapter by chapter almost. So I thought that would be really, really helpful. So I'm planning on doing some of those spreads this month, and even dipping into this one, The Seasonal Soul, The Mystic's Guide to Inner Transformation. And my plan is to look into, oopsie, sorry, wrong page. Sorry. Totally unprepared. Spring, The Glimmering Sun. I dipped into this book a couple of months ago, and I was in the winter season, which kind of really resonated then. And when I was kind of thinking about this whole, you know, planting of new seeds, clearing of the old, you know, nourishing the soil, which totally brought me into, brought my mind or my thoughts to this book and to this chapter. So I'm going to be dipping into this as well. So that's that. Any other books? I don't think so. I think those are the only books I'm going to be dipping into, apart from the two I showed you at the beginning. Crystals I'm planning on working with this month. I think you might be able to tell. Yeah, rose quartz, amethyst for my facets of self, totally represents my facets of self, amethyst. I've got a selenite on here, which I'm sleeping with still. Here's some more rose quartz. And I'm even feeling drawn to I think it's called hematoid quartz. I'm going to put the name on the screen if I've said that incorrectly. I've only got one piece. I don't know. This stone has been calling to me. And so I'm going to have this out. I'm going to take a look and work with it a bit and see how that feels. So these are my crystals for this month. Also this month I'm going to be trying much harder to do some artwork. I'm going to be doing Messy May. I'm going to pop a picture in here, and I'm going to link some people in the description box as well. Messy May is a like a project that is quite free and easy, which I like. 31 days of, yeah, creation. You know, you can, you do you. If you just want to, you know, do something very simple each day, then that's up to you. Or you can do something very intricate for the whole week, or you decide. But there's a prompt for each day, and you can work with the prompt to create whatever you want to create. Does that make sense? I hope so. I'm going to put some more information in here so you can see. But my plan is to use Messy May and create some artwork in this journal, which is my Inner Wolf Facets of Self journal, which you might have seen. I'm not going to show you anything inside because that's like, yeah, nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see it. But if I do create any artwork in it, I might possibly show you that, depending on how private that is to me. Sorry. And I'm also going to be using, which is sitting here on my desk, which you have seen, my Facets of Self box. I don't know if I can get this in shot because I wasn't planning on bringing it in, but here we are. And I've already, there's some, let me just do this, sorry. I decorated this box 2 months ago possibly. It's supposed to look like a cave, and these are my like hidden facets that I've dug forward. I'm going to pop a link in the description box so you can see the video when I created this. And this is like for my Facets of Self work, which I've already started working with. So there are things in the drawers, some important healing items, and can I say spell work? I'm just totally going to say that, because if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I'm a beginner witch, and you know this is what my practice is all about. So you know I'm not going to be ashamed. No shame in this space. No judgment in this space. So yes, that is how May is looking for me right at the moment. Have I forgotten anything? Not that I can think of right this second, but I know the minute I press stop and stop recording, I'm going to go, oh yeah, I forgot about that. But if I do that, then I'm going to pop it in editing here. Now, ta-da! Is there anything there? Is there anything extra? No, possibly not. Possibly yes, I don't know. Either way, let me know in the comment section, what are your plans for May, if you'd like to share that. If you'd like to share your intentions for May, I would be very, very interested, because I find that so interesting when people discuss their practices. Which decks are you planning on using? Do you have a specific theme for May, the month of May? Let me know. It's always nice to have a chat with you in the comment section and catch up with you. So with that being said, I'm going to wish you a lovely morning, afternoon or evening. I'm going to thank you for coming along this journey with me and supporting my channel. And I'm going to say that I hope to see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Toodaloo!